In order to make manifest that which you desire, you must raise your level of belief to a level of knowingness in your body. When you do that, when you let go of the denial, when you let go of the doubt, when you're in 100% knowing, that is full belief. And you must believe in order to receive. When I teach manifestation, the idea that we can take something that is just an idea, something that's in non-form, a wish, a hope, a desire, a dream, and make it manifest, bring it into form. That's the idea of manifestation. It's a type of creation. It's a type of action, if you will, but it's without the traditional connotations of excessive struggle or excessive amounts of time to make something happen. There's a lot more ease and grace with manifestation. And when I teach manifestation, one of the things that I ask the person that I'm working with is, do they believe that it's possible for them? So let's talk about what that means. It here, in this case, is what they dream, what they desire, what they're hoping for, what they're wishing to create. And sometimes people want something, but they don't believe it's possible for them. And that's a real challenge because you must believe that it's possible for you in order to make it manifest. And I'm going to, in this podcast, talk about the different kinds of beliefs and then also how to raise your level of belief so that you create, manifest exactly what you want, how to get out of that doubt, that fear, that concern, that worry, that sabotages your manifestation, your creation of that which you desire. I'm Amira Alvarez. I am the founder and CEO of The Unstoppable Woman, where we believe that you can make manifest a truly exquisite life for yourself. We work with high-achieving women who are full of ambition, who want to create more for themselves in all areas of their lives, whether that's getting to the first 7 figures, getting to 8 figures, getting to 9 figures, growing their career, or something to do with their love life, something to do with their health, something to do with the relationships that they have with their team and friends and family. All of that is on the table because it's important for you to know how to create in all areas of your life. Nothing is off limits. So let's claim the having it all. And let's also be those women who actually know how to do it, who don't just say, oh, that's unavailable for me. Which brings me to my first point, which is sometimes people want something very badly, but don't believe that it's available for them. So a good example of this might be you're excellent at creating income or generating money or running a company. You might be the CEO of a major Fortune 500 company, or you may be running your own company as an entrepreneur, and you feel very successful in that arena of your life. But you don't think that you could truly have the relationship, the primary love relationship that you desire. And you come up with all sorts of things you say to yourself. I'm happy with I'm too busy for that. It's great being alone. I love my alone time. I'd rather be by myself than in the wrong relationship, all of which is true, all of which is absolutely 100% true. And yet your core desire is that you really, truly want a relationship, but there's some core wound that is keeping you from really claiming it and believing that it's possible for you. So that's one way we say, I don't believe, core wound stuff. The second way is where we think, where we say we want it, but we don't believe that level is possible for us. So using the relationship example, that might be, I want this kind of relationship, like totally lit up, great sex life. I feel seen. I feel adored. I feel loved. I feel beautiful. I feel connected. I feel like I'm respected. I'm in partnership, collaboration, all that. But I don't think that's possible. So I'm going to go for, I believe I can have this instead. It's a lower belief. Okay. Using a financial example, you might say, I want to make $1 million this year. I want to make $8 million this year. You might have a financial goal, but you don't have the belief that that can actually happen this year. Like, okay, but this year I'm going to lower it to what I think is possible. And I believe 500K is possible, or I believe 3 million is possible. But I don't believe that 8 million or 10 million or 100 million is possible, right? So you lower your belief level. And then there are some people who have that crazy ass, desire. It's coming. It's a divine download. You don't know where it came from, but you're like, oh, I want that. And I'm hooked by it. I'm all in emotionally, but it seems rationally like an impossibility. Like, how is that possible? But you believe that it is possible. Okay. So for those of you who are in that situation, this is really going to land for you, this teaching. For everyone else who's in those other two categories, also really important teaching. And I think you'll get a few good tidbits out of this as well. Okay. Or I know you will. Not I think you will, but I know you will. Okay. So let's talk about the different kinds of beliefs that there are. There are conscious beliefs and subconscious beliefs. Now, conscious beliefs are the ones that we tell ourselves consciously. Subconscious beliefs are the ones we don't actually want to believe consciously, but they're the ones that are running the show. They're underneath the surface of our awareness, and we know that they exist based on our results. Our results say that we're constantly in the same pattern. Our results say that we're getting the same outcomes that we've always gotten. So we must believe X if we're getting Y as the result. Okay. So what's a good example of that? If you say you want to make $100 million and you consistently make $25 million year over year over year, there is a subconscious belief that is blocking you from the execution of that higher level goal, because your results are showing that you only believe that 25 million is possible for you. Fill in the numbers that work for you in that example. Okay. If you, using the love example again, if you say you consciously want a great relationship, but you keep dating men or women who are toxic or abusive or don't want to spend time with you, there's a subconscious belief that is running the show. And probably like, I'm unlovable, or I'm not a priority, or something like that. So you can always tell from your results what your beliefs are. Conscious beliefs that I think come up a lot is where you say you believe it's possible for you. Like, in theory, this is possible because it could happen. It's possible that it would happen. I think it's possible. That's a theoretical conscious belief. That's not a in your body, I know, I believe kind of belief. Okay. So you have to differentiate that. Another one that you have to differentiate is this intellectual idea. Like, I understand that I need to believe in order to make manifest. Okay. So yes, I believe. Again, that's intellectual, not wrong. Okay. The intellect, these conscious choices help us move us forward in order to lean in subconsciously, but they're not enough. They're not a knowing in your body. Okay. You could be saying things like, well, other people have done it, so I can do it. That is a conscious belief. Okay. It's a very helpful one. It helps you move through things faster and faster, but it's not a knowing in your body necessarily. Okay. Now, it's important that it's a knowing in your body, because that is like a fully integrated belief. And here's the rub. Once it's a fully integrated belief, it's a knowing in your body, it will come into form like that, super, super quick. It will be made manifest. Okay. So if there's something that you desire right now that has not yet come into form, it is an indication that there is a subconscious belief or lack of full integration in your belief structure that is keeping you from making that manifest. Okay. Now, you can have a true desire, and you can have a conscious belief that you're going to make it manifest, and like, you're all in and you're unstoppable and you're going for it. That's great. That's where you want to be. And you have to work on the doubts that come up that keep you in percentage or an aspect of disbelief around it, because you have to be fully 100% integrated. Okay. Belief is beyond hoping, wishing, desiring, okay? It is beyond all of that. It is a knowing in your body, okay? It's when you absolutely 100% know that this is you. This is happening. It's not like it's separate from you. It's like it's already happened. Let me give you an example of this. Once you start making a certain amount of money, you have a base level of consistent cash flow that you know is going to come in every month. You just believe that. There's nothing in you that makes you think that could possibly not happen. Okay? There's probably a range that you go in that is like, okay, maybe it's from this to this, but it's never going below this. This is your new norm. Okay? That's a knowingness in your body. Okay. Most people who have never been homeless in their life, and that's not a possibility for them, have a knowingness that they'll always be taken care of, right? They'll always have a home, a roof over their head. There's a knowingness that you will always have heat and electricity, right? You don't have disbelief over these things, okay? Now, this is not the case for everyone. There are people who are struggling to make ends meet for which that's not a knowingness, okay? So they don't have the belief there. But for many of you who are listening, there's high levels of belief on many, many subjects. You'll always have clothes. You'll always have food. You don't not believe that you're going to have food. There's a knowingness there. It's an absolute thing. You're not wishing for it. You know it. You know you're going to open the refrigerator. There's going to be food there. Maybe you need to go grocery shopping, but that analogy works to a degree. Okay. Now I want to talk about what happens for you when you get hooked by a desire, because there's a type of belief in that moment where you say, "Ooh, I really want that. I want that." Whatever it is. I want more ease and grace. I want more spaciousness. I want to make more money. I want to mastermind with really intelligent women. Whatever it is, right? You have a desire. It comes in and you get hooked by it. There's an emotional hook to it. And the bigger the desire and the more true it is, the bigger the emotional hook. Now, one of the most amazing things about that moment is that when you get hooked like that, and for me, this was years and years and years ago, I remember the first time I consciously had an awareness of this happening. I was at a seminar and I realized I wanted to make $1 million in a year. And at the time, I was not making at all nearly that much. I was making $138K. And I got this huge hook of a desire. And I was like, I want that. And what happened was it slipped through in that moment of emotional yes, right? In this moment of like, wow, that could be, like, I want that. It slipped past the gates that the subconscious mind usually holds closed for these kind of crazy ass ideas. And it slipped in and it got into my subconscious. So we can change our subconscious in a number of different ways, but fundamentally it's we have to slip past this gate, okay? Now, we slip past that gate when there's a big emotional charge. Sometimes it's being scared, like a shock, but sometimes it's just a big emotional desire and yes, and that desire slips in and we're like, oh my God, I believe I can do that, okay? There's a few other ways that you can reprogram your subconscious. One is constant spaced repetition, repeating something again and again and again, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in this podcast. And then there is things like meditation, which or hypnosis, where you can kind of shut off the block to the subconscious mind. That doorway that's shut gets opened. Okay, so which we're not talking about today, but it's good to know. So if you have this kind of yes, I want that, it's for me moment, and you claim it, that's great. But what usually happens directly after that is some form of denial. This is the second thing in the manifestation matrix, is this denial that comes in. That's not for me. How am I going to do that? I'm crazy for thinking about that. That'll never happen. That's going to take too long. I'm going to lose all the things I have, all my relationships, things are going to fall apart. You can go into doom and gloom. Okay. So one of the key things here is if you can make a decision that has ramifications that you can use to get leverage over yourself in that moment of saying, I want this, something like an investment, something like a public commitment, signing a contract in some way, you can get leverage over all those doubts because you're locked in some fashion, and you will keep going. Your subconscious will be like, okay, we're on the road. So know that. But even then, even with that kind of commitment, doubt is going to come in. Doubt is going to come in. So for me, what I do to get leverage is I start talking about it with my team. Okay. Because I don't want to, I mean, not that I have a lot of shame or anything, but I want to hold my word to my team. I want to look good to my team. I don't want to let them down. I want to come through. So I will start talking about the new things that I want to do in the business with the team. Okay. So doubt does creep in though. And this is called being human. Don't beat yourself up or go into a huge amount of judgment or criticism here, or thinking that you're essentially wrong or a bad person or anything. That's not helpful. Okay. It will just keep you stuck in a loop of sabotage. Okay. So not helpful. But you do have to overcome your doubts, because if you stay in the doubt, you will be at cross purposes with that which you desire, and you won't be leaning into full belief. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, that level of full belief is absolutely critical to you making manifest that which you desire. So doubt is the opposite of belief. And we need to increase the belief and lower the doubt until it's 100% belief and 0 doubt. And that is when it's made manifest. Okay. So also when you're in doubt, you're sending some mixed signals. Okay. So you're saying, I believe, but I don't believe. I believe, but I don't believe. I want it, but I don't think it can happen. I deserve it, but I don't think I'm worthy of it. I have to work harder. I need to beat myself up in order to deserve it, right? Like there's all these things that represents, and we don't want to go there. We want to be in 100% belief. And this is where I need to make mention of the law of vibration. So the law of vibration says that everything in the universe vibrates. Everything has a vibrational frequency, and things of the like vibrational frequency attract each other. So doubt has a vibrational frequency, and it's going to attract the not having, the lack. Okay. Belief has a vibrational frequency, and it's going to attract the thing that you believe in. Okay. So if a negative belief is a doubt, so if you believe that it's going to be hard, or you believe it's going to take a long time, or you believe you can't have it, that's what you're going to get. And those are all negative beliefs, okay? Or negative faith, if you will. And the law of vibration says you have to be at the vibrational frequency of that which you desire. But clearly you're not there yet, because if you were there, you would be getting those results. So how do we get ourselves to that level of vibrational frequency? So let's say you want an 8 or 9-figure business, or you must be on the vibrational match to that. If you want a healthier, slender, strong body, you have to be on the vibrational match to that. And yet anyone who's a woman in the United States or the Western world, I can't actually speak for outside of the United States, even though I've traveled a lot. I don't know all the different cultures, but here in the United States, we have all sorts of noise in our head about this, and we think it's going to be hard, and we have to go on diets, and we have to struggle, and all of that. So if you have that in your mind, it's going to be really hard to be a vibrational match for what you want. Okay, just keep that in mind. So now I want to talk about how you move through the doubt and denial phase that comes up and step into that full belief. And this is really the juicy part of this podcast, the how-to part, right? Up until now, we've been talking about like the framework, like why it's important. But now let's talk about what do you do with the doubt and denial when you're going for more, when you want to create. Okay, let's dive into a few ways to let go of that denial, that doubt. So one way, when something is less urgent and you have spaciousness and you have time, is to go more general. Don't think about it very specifically. Just think about it lightly. Hold it lightly. Allow it to kind of flow in and out of your thinking. Don't force it. Just have it kind of percolating in the background. Hold it lightly. This is something that I do to help myself catch up vibrationally with the desire that I have. So I let myself lean into it. And it's like a catching up to speed, if you will. Another way forward is to not focus on it. Okay. If the doubt comes up, you just change your focus. Now, you can't just say to yourself, I'm not going to think about the elephant in the room, because then you're going to think about the elephant in the room. You actually have to give yourself something that will distract you, something different to focus on. And there's so much, you love life, right? There's so many things that you want to do and experience. Go do that, okay? Go focus on something else. And this is a form of distraction for sure, but it gives you time to get up to speed with your desire, with your, and build your belief. Simply by every time the doubt comes up, shifting your attention. Energy flows where attention goes. So you put your energy someplace else and you allow this to happen in the background. But there's an important point here, okay? You can't just never think about your desire, never want to build your belief about it. You can't not think about it at all. I'm just saying a little bit of distraction if you can't handle the doubt that's coming up. But you want to keep coming back to it. And this is one of the things that I think most people don't do. They're not persistent in that. You have to keep kind of leaning in and testing the waters and building your capacity to hold belief little bit by little bit. If you're in that process of building your belief and the doubt gets to be so intense, you have to shift for sure, shift your attention. But you want to come back and stay persistent with expanding your capacity to hold the belief of what you desire. So that might look like, can I believe this? Can I hold this without doubt? And this is where your imagination is going to come in. So one of the things that I often do is I imagine the next piece of what I desire coming in, and I would feel into that. And sometimes I would feel that clutch in my chest, like, ugh, and not a good hook, but that can never happen kind of hook. And it would mean that I wasn't ready. I wasn't in belief, but I would want to lean in and I want to work through why I'm clutching there. Okay. And in my imagination, start asking myself questions. Well, if that happened, what would I need to do? And how would that work? And who would that be with? And what would that look like? And how would I feel? And how could that work? Right. And I would start playing it out in my imagination, little by little, leaning in a little bit at a time, And then I would get more and more comfortable with that. It would start to feel more and more real for me. And this is building your belief. So I do this a number of times, many, many times. And that's how you use your imagination to move through doubt. And you keep doing that a bit at a time. And that combination of allowing my body to catch up, like really physically feeling an opening to the belief, an opening, like the opposite of clutching, and allowing my body to recalibrate through that imagination at the same time is a kind of steady reprogramming of your belief. That subconscious belief that says it's not possible, you're steadily reprogramming that through your imagination, because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between something that's real and something that's imagined. So if you can lean in more and more to building a picture of what you wish happening steadily with that constant space repetition, like doing it again and again and again, you will reprogram yourself. But it requires that you lean in, that you do this. You'll feel a dissonance. You'll feel like, oh, that's uncomfortable. You have to lean in nonetheless and ask yourself a better question. How could that work? That's a great question to ask. Now, a key point here is I'm not doing this in a vacuum. So I'm not just doing this belief work, doing this leaning in work, doing this imagination work, getting over my doubts in a vacuum. I am constantly, consistently taking action. So what does that mean? Sometimes it's action, very concerted, conscious, directive action towards the goal. And sometimes it's indirect action towards the goal. But I am not just thinking about it or imagining it. I'm leaning into small things that I can do towards that end. Okay. This is also a way of getting comfortable with the manifestation, comfortable with the belief that it's going to happen. It's a way of proving to yourself that it is happening by taking that small incremental action in the beginning. Later on, it becomes bigger. But in the beginning, these are small little moves. Okay. And the key thing here is that I'm willing to risk disappointment. So most people won't act until they know something for sure. And yet, if you knew it for sure, it would already be here. So you have to lean in and you have to take action, even if you're going to risk pain, failure, disappointment, all of that. You have to be willing to risk that. And that builds your trust in yourself over time. That builds self-trust, authority, the ability to lean on yourself and trust yourself because you know that you are capable of making manifest that which you desire. Okay. Now, this goes on for a while. There's iteration multiple times. Once I feel like certain aspects of the larger desire is clear for me and I have full belief in it, then I will start talking to trusted colleagues about it, my team, my man, other people, and I will start leaning into the discussion around it so that I start getting comfortable talking about it. That's another level of building belief and eliminating doubt. And this is an act of making it real. And it's a little bit of a testing ground for my belief. I'm paying attention in those moments to what feels true and connected and 100%. Where do I still have that doubt and need to move through things on my own? So it's a way to solidify my belief, but it's also a way to recognize where I need to do more work. And when we start talking about it, you have to have a certain level of belief in it before you start talking about it, or those conversations, you'll be matched by the doubt in others. Okay. So if you come to a conversation with a lot of doubt and you're looking for someone else to say, oh, I believe you, that's going to be a challenge unless they're trained in this work, because they're going to match the vibration of your doubt, not the vibration of that which you desire. So remember, when you start having those conversations with people, you have to have a certain level of belief for yourself. And this then makes it manifest faster. Once you're at that level, it's like a little bit of rocket fuel to start talking about it, because your word is power, okay? There's power in your word. When you start claiming it from a place of belief, that is extraordinarily powerful. So I do this again and again and again until all of me catches up, okay? And knows 100% this is happening. And it's usually, boom, in that moment that it happens, okay? And it's made manifest. And it's like, wow, oh, look, it's here. And it almost surprises you. Like, oh, look, it's here. Comes a little bit sooner than you expect. It's like, yeah, there it is. Okay. It feels like it's miraculous or magical or like in that manifestation world, right? Like that, wow, that was so easy. And yet you've done the work. I want to emphasize this. It's not magic like you've waved a magic wand and you haven't changed who you are in terms of who you're believing. You've done a lot of intentional work around changing your beliefs and your vibrational frequency, okay? Your belief now is at the vibrational frequency of that which you desire. And you had to do the work to lean into that. And once you do that, then it becomes manifest. It feels magical because it's not the traditional kind of hustle and grind that we're used to make things manifest. Now, I will say everything that I've created, I have had to do things also. Okay. Some of those things are taking more time, more spaciousness. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's creating things like actually doing the tactical and strategic things in my business. I do a lot of those things, right? It's not without that, but it's not with the traditional hustle and grind. So in summary, in order to make manifest that which you desire, you must raise your level of belief to a level of knowingness in your body. That level of knowingness is being at a vibrational match to that which you desire. And when you do that, when you let go of the denial, when you let go of the doubt, when you're in 100% knowing, that is full belief. And you must believe in order to receive. Okay. With that, I'm Amira Alvarez. I am the founder and CEO of The Unstoppable Woman. I thank you so much for being a loyal listener. Please like, comment, subscribe, send us your questions, and be a part of this community. We love having you listen to the podcast, and we are so grateful to you. From all of us at the Unstoppable Woman team, I wish you a very amazing day. Be unstoppable and create that exquisite life. Take care. Bye.